Welcome to this week's edition of the Empathic Designer Podcast. I'm your host Vaidishwaran. We had discussed about business behavior applications and their potential toward performance improvement in our last week's episode. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, do check it out from the link in the description section below. This week, we will try and answer some questions on how do we discuss business behavior applications with our clients. What should you consider while creating a roadmap for your next business behavior application? And what is your stakeholder thinking at each stage? We usually receive our client's wish list ahead of our first meeting. If this is the case, the first step is to analyze this list and prepare a mental map of how our application is going to look like ahead of the meeting. Our first meeting with the client should be all about asking questions. Question every single item in their wish list to get their reactions. This will help us create a need to haves versus the nice to haves list. If you have existing applications or prototypes that align with the current expectations, I'd recommend spending some time presenting these to them. From your client's perspective, this not only showcases your experience but also helps them to get new ideas or improvise and refine their existing ideas. Well, from your perspective, this helps you to get a much better picture of what your client is actually looking for. Once you finalize the list of features for the application, the next step is to create a user experience model or a UX model. This model will present to our clients with a basic overview of how the application will look and provide a blueprint for how it will function. If you're a designer or a consultant working on a project with tight budgets or without much support from a programming team at this stage, I'd recommend creating this user experience mockup using simple tools like Adobe XD. Adobe XD is a free program from Adobe and is quite intuitive. I've used this on some occasions with my customers with great success. Once your user experience model is ready, you'll have to present this to your client. As I've always said in my earlier episodes, the best way to really go about this is to create a user persona and script a story for this persona. Apart from explaining how the features of this application will work, we can talk about how this application will work for the target audience. From your client's perspective, this gives them an idea about how the application will work in the real world and help them ask meaningful questions. This in turn will help us refine the application much further. Once we get into the actual design and development phase, I'd recommend taking an agile approach since this is a new application and it's always best to test the application at each stage and make your clients equal partners in the entire development process. So, have you worked on business behavior applications? I'd love to hear more about your experience. Please post them in the comment section and let's have a great discussion on it. I'll talk to you again next week with another interesting topic. Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of the Empathic Designer Podcast. If you like what you heard, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can hit the bell icon for getting regular updates from my channel. As always, if you have any questions or feedback, please leave a message on the comment section below and I'll be glad to respond. Thank you and have a great day.